So, the Switch 2 recently started its pre-orders after previously being delayed because of the Orange Man. And after months of people saying that it wouldn't sell well because of the price, it is completely sold out everywhere. I think most stores open pre-orders at midnight, which really requires you to stay up late or you just weren't getting one. My original plan was to wait out.
Hold up. You said you expected the Switch 2 to sell poorly. So why on earth would you try to pre-order it?
Blows you up with mine. Even though my prediction was that it would generate low sales, I never said I wouldn't be buying it. I'm very honest. While yes, the prices are outrageous, my desire for this console has not faltered in the slightest. The Switch is my favorite console of all time. Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. You want me to see it running at 4K, 60 frames per second, or 1080p, 120 frames per second, and not buy it? And that's not even talking about Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. I need both of those games. But yeah, my original plan was to head to Best Buy around the time of the pre-order and secure mine in person so I can get the midnight drop. I'm not even sure if that was possible, but my plans quickly changed when I found out GameStop was also doing midnight drops. And the day of the pre-order, at 11:14, I pulled up to GameStop and stood in line to pre-order the Switch 2. The only reason I didn't order it online like most people did is because I wasn't sure if I could still pick it up in person at midnight. And for some reason, I didn't even bother to look it up. Till this day, I don't know, but thank the Lord for my ignorance. People's horror stories about trying to pre-order online were absolutely insane. GameStop crashed. Target canceled orders. Walmart wouldn't even let you add it to your cart unless you spammed the button. And Best Buy forgot how to open pre-orders for 30 minutes. Compared to that, my time in line was a breeze. Got there, stood in line for like an hour and 15 minutes and put down $50 for it. There were a few inconveniences. They completely sold out of the Mario Kart bundle. And that GameStop stunk. Honestly, I'm seeing other people had it way sweeter. The GameStop that Beat 'em Ups was at gave everybody a list of items so they could just check off whatever they wanted, with the intention of that making the line go faster. Mine had one person at the register, only 2 customers were allowed in store at a time, and the line was slow as hell. There were probably like 36 people in line, and it took an hour plus to get through all of them, which I don't understand. We're all here for the same thing. Now, after all of this pre-order madness, do I still think it'll sell well? Kinda. My thoughts are very contradictory right now, so for today's video, I thought I'd play both sides of the court and tell you why it will and won't sell well. Then at the end, I'll give you my prediction. But before I start, comment how you think it'll do below, or comment about your experience trying to pre-order. I'd love to hear about your struggles or horror stories in the comments. Okay, we'll start with why it will sell good. Well, the Switch 2's pre-order cycle has shown that there is, indeed, demand. Enough people saw what was offered and decided they wanted to go through the struggle and reserve themselves a system. Switch 2 pre-orders are actually going band for band with PS5 pre-orders, both of how many are being sold and how much of a damn struggle it is to get one. Regardless of the price, it's undeniable that people want this console, and I think people will continue to pre-order it and eventually buy it when it releases. Thinking that it won't sell well after all this commotion and buzz, it just doesn't check out. I mean, just look at the lines to pre-order in person.
Imagine with 90-day pause with the tariffs. It's gonna get more expensive. All right, I'll get my pre-order. There's a fucking line.
This doesn't look like the line of a complete flop. It's not even just this. Bloomberg reported that analysts expect the Switch 2 to break records and become the biggest console launch of all time. And you really have to think about Japan. The Nintendo Japan president says,
"We've received an extremely large number of applications, approximately 2.2 million people in Japan alone."
And yes, that's pretty wild. They don't even have enough stock for it yet. But when talking about a console, you have to talk about the games. There's the remaster of 2 absolute masterpieces in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but we also get a free roam Mario Kart and a brand new 3D Donkey Kong. Mario Kart World alone sold me completely. This game looks so fun to just hop on and mess around with friends, or even just turn your brain off and explore. The challenges around the free roam, like, it's such a simple idea, but I never thought it would come to Mario Kart. The fact that it's all one world instead of separate tracks blew my mind. I can see myself just messing around the world, unlocking outfits, and having a great time. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like Mario Odyssey, which is a good thing because that game is amazing. When I was younger, I picked up Mario Odyssey at Sam's Club, played it in the car, and could not put it down. I'm pretty sure I ended up 100%ing that game too. Like, I could not stop playing it. Also, we're not gonna act like the Switch 2 isn't a super version of one of the coolest console ideas to ever exist. They took so many of the flaws of the original Switch and made it so much better. The pathetic toothpick of a kickstand? Fixed. The obsolete low-res screen? Fixed. The Joy-Cons? 2. I think others, including me, seriously underestimated how many people would pay big money for an upgraded version of a console they adore. And a lot of people already love the Switch. It's literally in the top 5 best-selling consoles of all time. And it's not 5, 4, or 3. The Switch name has huge motion, the hype train is running fast, and it is very much possible that the Switch 2 will sell very well. I rest my case, Your Honor. Good job, me. Very compelling argument. Time to hear from... This is still really expensive. A $450 console with $70 to $80 games is gonna be wild no matter how you slice it. Like, yeah, the PS5 is also $500 or more. I hate this thing. But most people would at least be able to rationalize that with its specs. The brand new fastest SSD, 500 gigasmucks of RAM, etc., etc. I don't really care about all that. Creativity matters more to me, but I do not speak for everyone. A lot of people do care, and seeing that the Switch 2 specs are closer to a PS4 while costing $450 will probably turn people away from it. Okay, so me after editing the script here, apparently it's actually closer to a PS5, at least according to this post, and on CPU. So I don't know, I'm not a spec nerd. Correct me, please. I don't know. Even if they simply didn't care about specs and other nerd stuff like that, it's still $500. The Nintendo of America president literally said that he knows some people won't be able to afford it. Hey, here's some insider information for you that you might not have known, but the amount of people who can't afford something contributes to the amount of people who will not buy something. Because the US economy is pretty butt right now, that number of people will most likely be pretty high. And yes, I'm thankfully aware that the US is not the entire world, but it does have a lot of people in it that would buy the Switch 2, but won't or can't because they can't afford it. My prediction is that this hit to sales will negatively affect the overall performance of the system in the long run. But even some people who can afford it might not end up buying it. I recently had a conversation with a friend about if they planned on getting it, and their main issue is the selection of new games. When the Switch drops, there will be 2 brand new games, Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 Welcome Tour game. One of those games is just, hey, here's how our console works. Kind of like Astro's Playground, with the big difference being that Astro's Playground is free. Mario Kart and a playable tech demo are going to be the only brand new games on the Switch 2 at launch. And yeah, Mario Kart World is all it takes for me because I'm an insane Nintendo fan, but for some people, it's not enough incentive to justify going through the trials, tribulations, and money to pre-order it. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out a month later, but for the people who don't like 3D platformers, it leaves them in the same place, waiting for a game to justify an almost $500 purchase, which I believe has a high chance of staggering sales. This is all a fault on Nintendo, by the way. By making the console and the games so expensive, it makes the whole experience less accessible. You have to look at the sales of the Switch 1 and ask why it did so well. The creativity of the system and the great selection of first-party games are a big part, but you cannot forget that the entry level for the Switch is just 300 zams. Rationalizing $300 with games mostly at 60 is a lot easier than $500 with the launch title being 80.
I mean, but if you get the 500 bundle, you're not paying. But still, other games are 70.
It's a lot easier than $450 with the launch title being 80. People with Nintendo brain rush to GameStops and Best Buys to pre-order and secure their console for release, but not everybody has Nintendo brain like us. Some people are actually normal, and I feel like Nintendo is gonna find this out the hard way after the launch. I rest my case. Wow, good points, me. And you guys, let me know which one you agree with. You're the jury in this case, so just play along. Okay, so here are my thoughts. I believe the Switch 2 won't be a complete flop. Nintendo's star power and the amount of quality games they have out for the Switch is undeniable. I guarantee that in the 8 years of its running, they've made some new fans more than willing to tap in for this new launch. I know that the majority of people want others to boycott, but a lot of people aren't in the best positions right now and need a pick-me-up in the form of a new Mario Kart or a new 3D Donkey Kong game. At the end of the day, people want the Switch 2. The demand and hype for it is insane because of how successful the first iteration was. It will sell. However, I don't think it's reaching the same levels as the first. A lot of the Switch 1 sales are casual players. People who saw the low price of something like the Switch Lite, paired it with the game they really wanted, and just played that with maybe 1 or 2 other games. You can't really do that with the Switch 2 because everything surrounding it is expensive. Even if they make a Switch 2 Lite or something, Mario Kart World is still $80. Did you imagine a little kid trying to ask their parents to spend $80 on one game? Taking care of a kid is already a lot of money, but a $500 console plus game with every other game ranging from $70 to $80 is a hard sell. I could very easily see a lot of people who did buy the Switch one passing on the sequel because of situations like this. Thankfully, it is backwards compatible, and some games are getting slight remasters to help with the 1.5 games we're getting on launch. But in the end, I was wrong about the pre-orders, so maybe I'll be wrong about this too. Who knows? There's a chance it'll flop and they'll have to do a 3DS style price cut for it because only the hardcores are buying it. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to be doing a midnight vlog, video essay, unboxing type video when it comes out, so look forward to that. Sorry for the 9-month wait, by the way. I got the most insane case of burnout, but I'm back and hoping to upload a little more frequently. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you could please leave a like and comment to help your boy with the algorithm, that'd be saucy. And I'll see you guys next time. Damn, how do I end these again? Oh, okay, yeah. It fades me out when I'm talking, and then the whole music, yeah, I remember.